Tonight, I get an early jump on my spring cleaning by dumping a lot of random stuff on you. Also tonight, I try some health food. What bit did I lose there? Also tonight, no politics, just a lot of one-liners. You'll learn why we're calling this Bear With Me. You probably clicked this looking for a bear crapping in the woods, but instead you've landed on the Cold Bear Report. Nation, I've been preparing for this series almost 6 years now, and long before I was over here at this desk with the best finely tuned, edited, and tight comedic delivery any bear has ever given, and I'm including you, Yogi, I was out there just riffing my opinion to every tomcat, duck, and hairy moose I could get to stop long enough and listen to my rambling non sequiturs of run-on sentences. And now, I'd like to share some of the mixed metaphors that we've come up with in a new subject-led riff segment that I and my writers have come to call Bear With Me. You know, opposable thumbs would be really handy right now, you know? Okay, our first subject is snow. Oh, well, that's a how many po's are in that? Right, so we've had another great hit of snow in town. Yay. Until recently, I thought we were having another sucky mild winter, so bring on the white. And for clarity, I'm not calling for more conservatives with that. Sorry for any confusion. Look, I'm not saying Toronto hasn't had more snow than usual this year, but except for Vancouver, even the total amount that's fallen in the GTA would be considered a light dusting at best. But I get it, Toronto. You're not used to this, which is why I predict there'll be a record use of the word snow by Environment Canada for the rest of the winter. That doesn't mean I'll be more tolerant of anyone whining about the cold, though. If I hear anyone around me complaining about the snow, I'll knock them unconscious and ship them to Winterpeg until it's black fly season. So zip it, because when we hear you whining about snow, Ontario, everyone else in Canada is laughing at you, not with you. As the postman's creed goes, neither snow, nor rain, nor heat, nor gloom of night stays our couriers from the swift completion of their appointed rounds. Mind you, the only delivery person we didn't see today was the postman. Even the UPS guy made it in, and that's saying something because those guys are wimps. Next! Bear With Me. Food! Oh, great. I'm going to be hungry after this segment. I can tell. Okay, Campbell's, let's start with you. Why did you stop at 8? Isn't it about time we had a V9 juice? And correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't cookies and cream flavored Oreos just Oreo flavored Oreos? I've got to say, I was really disappointed at the Wendy's restaurant today when I asked for a premium redhead and all they gave me was a large coffee. I heard a Pavarotti tune on the classic radio station, and because it's been co-opted by Madison Avenue so much, now I want spaghetti. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency food label requirements say a food in Canada can only be sold as milk if it meets the following description: the normal lacteal secretion free from colostrum obtained from the mammary gland of an animal. Well, based on this, I'm writing an official complaint against soy milk, almond milk, and while we're at it, meatless meat, because there has to be a rule somewhere about that fraudulent abuse of English, too. Because if happiness is the best revenge, and revenge is a dish best served cold, then cold happiness is even better, right? Wait, what? And I get wanting to be healthy, but the problem with eating like your ancestors did in the paleo diet is that processed foods are part of the reason you're living longer and healthier than humans ever have. It's true. The whole Salem witch trial that led to 20 humans being executed was likely caused by hallucinations from eating spoiled wheat. When was the last time you had that problem? Yeah, 1692. Back when the average life expectancy was just 42 years. And before we move on, Richie's in the lunchroom. Would it be bad if I texted him to bring me a snack?
And now it's time for Duza Bear Eat Health Food.
Well, that's what sadness tastes like. Ugh. Bugs? Seriously? Is somebody mistaking me for a bird or something? I'm not gonna look forward to this. It's cat litter! That's the taste of disappointment for you. Who would have this as a pet? Quinoa.
Quinoa, you daft bastard.
Quinoa. Quinoa. It's quinoa. I've been to Quesnel. I know what quinoa. Oh, jeez. Blah. Blah. Wow. Even I don't hate rice cakes enough to do this to them. Blah. Okay, I can already tell this is going to be a disaster. Ugh. All right. Nope, not better on the second try either. Blah. And that's the taste of bitter disappointment. Ugh, are we done? Come on. Ugh. Yay, popcorn! I love popcorn. Why do you people hate me? Ugh.
And that was Duza Bear Eat Health Food.
Next, bear with me. Honestly, opposable thumbs would be so handy right now. Idiots! Great, I'm going to get letters for this one, you watch. Nation, Johannes Kepler wrote, I much prefer the sharpest criticism of a single intelligent man to the thoughtless approval of the masses. Well, that's not the world we live in. We're in a sad idiocracy where they'll add a word to the dictionary if enough stupid people use it. But I think the mistake people make with me is thinking I'm passive-aggressive. Because the more people I meet, the more often I think their parents should have kept the bathwater. I've begun referring to idiots as hemorrhoids for what I believe are very obvious reasons. And I love dropping the phrase, there's my nickel of opinion in discussions, and then waiting for someone to ask about it. Canada got rid of the penny a few years back, so our opinions have been rounded up from 2 cents to 5. And contrary to what my voicemail will lead you to believe, I am in fact not sorry for missing your call. So when you leave a voicemail message for someone, remember, if you can't be bothered to say why you're calling, they shouldn't be bothered to call you back. Look, it took me over an hour to write and rewrite an email response to someone today because I couldn't figure out how to properly reply without openly calling them stupid. And just to clarify, I was responding to a lawyer. There's always that one person who can wreck your whole day just by showing up. Look, normally I'm pretty comfortable with my opinion and position on things. Unless someone in my family agrees with me, then I start worrying. But sometimes the best defense is to release everyone and hide. Seriously though, you people dismiss coincidence like it can't be real, but give fantasies of enormous complexities air to breathe. That's ridiculous. Take this bit of nonsense. This pic went viral last year for reasons that can only mean you people have too much time on your hands. And you'd better cut back on the edibles. Look, Occam's razor says the simplest answer is usually the correct one, and I can think of a dozen things that a half-opened box in this 2,000-year-old Greek sculpture more likely resemble than a laptop. But even if it does look like Hermes checking his email, the simplest explanation is more likely coincidence than time travel, okay? But hey, that's me. I'll always be the one pointing to the emperor and saying, dude, not only have you no clothes on, your willy's nothing to brag about. Next, bear with me. Branding. I'm not sure I know what that means. Oh, okay, got it. As you may know, I just started my own Facebook page. After no less than a dozen posts, the types of ads Facebook was showing me began to change, which is fine. They've monetized that site through deep dive metrics studying my online habits. But this bear wants to know what about me is triggering Facebook to send me notifications with offers of questionable legal massage services. Just what sort of revenue stream is Facebook running now anyway? And speaking of image, yesterday I saw a guy wearing a Kia toque. A toque, advertising Kia, the car, Kia. What I couldn't figure out is whether there's anyone with that kind of pride for that brand, or if this was a mechanic from the local dealership on his lunch. Next, bear with me. Science. Well, that's been under attack these past few years as every bozo on all sides goes about making up their own alt facts. So I'm going to play that just for fun. Let's say that Pluto is too a planet, and any suggestion it isn't one is fake news started by CNN and a bunch of liberal scientists. And not only is Pluto a full planet with all the rights and privileges that a planet has, but Pluto also has an atmosphere that supports American life, and they're going to build a highway to it, which will be a great, big, beautiful highway, 13 lanes wide, one for each original colony. That way they can get there quickly, at the speed of light, of course, because they can do that now, and why wouldn't you? And you know what? Mars is going to pay for the highway to Pluto. Just watch. You know, this is actually sort of fun. This sort of calls back to the idiocy segment, and clearly the media isn't helping, because when I heard radio station 680 News report Hawaii had named the ukulele their national musical instrument, my first thought was, congrats Hawaii on being recognized by 680 News as a nation. Increasingly it seems we're just making things up now. But then it begs the question, at what point in history did they start teaching history? Bear-quiring minds want to know. Don't you? Look, I dream of a world where facts shape people's politics rather than politics shaping people's facts. And of a world when a chicken can cross the road without ever having its motives questioned. Next. That landed back in the bowl, didn't it? Bear with me. Miscellaneous Minute. Okay, nation, this is where I've got just 60 seconds to hit a variety of topics that didn't seem to fit any other category. And go! My favorite line in the movie Pompeii is when the mountain blows and Senator Corvus says, "Oh, crappius," even though we all know that the correct Latin is crappium. Look, I just came across the term baby mooner. We are very near the end of civilization. And when I bought my new computer, I told the guy I wanted to write jokes, and I asked if it had stand-up comic sans. He's still blinking quickly. I suppose I need to reboot him. Here's a thought. If you're expecting me to use self-checkout, then give me the employee discount. Look, I don't call American gun violence mass shootings anymore. Their government's response clearly sanctioned these events, so they're culls. That was 60? Okay, that was fun, huh? Next! Bear with me. Religion! Nation, as I record this in the liturgical calendar, we're in the season of Lent. Now, I love Lent, and I really enjoy the Ash Wednesday service. Maybe it's some English I've had recently, but I look forward to both times of the liturgical calendar that involve waiting, the same way some of you look forward to Easter and Christmas. My problem is, lately I've had difficulty at church. Well, I come in hating all of humanity. I feel bad that I'm reminded that that doesn't fit with the teachings of Christ, and yes, by the end of the service, I feel better, resolved to see the best of humanity and care for my fellow being. But within 24 hours, the idiots of this world have ruined that. I'm seriously considering the possibility I'm not the problem. Traditionally for Lent, we seek to give up something. I don't know if that's such a good idea this time around. I mean, it feels a bit like we've been in Lent since last Lent, without an Easter, Christmas, or New Year's to break it up, all this non-stop doing without. And the lack of separation between home and work right now is making giving up things for Lent a real challenge this year. I mean, typically I can't face work without the sugar intake of a 5-year-old at Halloween. But working from home means there's a chilled 2-4 of Dr. Pepper in the fridge taunting me no matter where I go. And with the stay-at-home order in effect for the last 4 months straight, I'm going nowhere. My cravings actually have me wishing I was at work now, and not the work idea, the work-building idea. That's a thought that normally is against my religion. Meanwhile, they keep extending the lockdown in my area like a prison sentence for Hannibal Lecter. But one thing that's starting to get back to normal this Lent is television. Specifically, the CW superhero shows are starting to return, and as there's no off switch in my brain, I've even had a few ideas for scripts. Number 1, The Flash loses his connection to the Space Force after giving up Dr. Pepper for Lent. Script idea 2, Robin worries about Batman's increasing brutality with Gotham's underworld after he gives up Dr. Pepper for Lent. Okay, maybe this giving up Dr. Pepper for Lent idea wasn't such a hot one.
Dr. Pepper. It's not a sponsor, it's a way of life.
Next, bear with me. Grammys. I can't seem to think bad about my Gram.
Not Grandmas, the Grammys. The bloody Grammy Awards.
They're giving awards to grandmothers now? I mean, that's nice, but...
The music awards, you stupid bear.
Oh, those things. Yeah. Of all awards shows, the music ones have got to be the lamest. Have you noticed how specific they've gotten with the categories? I mean, really? Best Prince song? Best movie score by an Irish supergroup? Most Sting-like song in a Sting album? Best moves like Jagger? Best song all about that bass? Best Madonna dance move? Most likely to narrate a Disney documentary? Best James Earl Jones impression in a James Earl Jones audiobook? Most tenacious D in a heavy metal song? Most annoying Bruno Mars tune in a commercial or advertisement? Oh, I've got another one for Lent. Lent It Be, the new song by the Beatles.
Let it go, bear. Let it go.
Bear with me. Well, Nation, that's it for the first Bear With Me segment. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, leave a comment below and let me know. Or like the video, as that count speaks volumes. But if not, well, like my grandpappy used to say, grab the bull by the horns, look deep into the bull's eyes, kiss the bull. Oh, I'm sorry, I guess this is my first rodeo. And remember, it could have been worse. I could have been singing again.
Dr. Pepper, come on, admit it. You've been craving one ever since it was mentioned 10 minutes ago, haven't you? Yeah. Still not a sponsor. It's a way of life. Pass it on.
Well, Nation, that's all for the Cold Bear Report this week. Take care, stay safe, and watch out for wildlife on the roads. Bye. Nation, we still haven't heard any feedback from you, the viewer, so I'm pretty much going to continue doing what I want. And what I want is a sandwich. Seriously?
Why not subscribe? Come on, click the face.
Is this thing on?